What would you do if you knew you can never fail? This is a mentality that I have developed in this video. You probably are seeing millions and millions of views down there, but guess what? My channel at the point of me filming this video is only a couple hundred subscribers. So how can you do the same? I'm gonna explain to you just in 1 second. So what I promise you from this video is you will get out knowing to understand two main things. The first one is how can you use the inner capacity of your mind to change your surroundings in terms of physical and mental surroundings. The second thing is I'm going to promise you how can you use the latest of technology in your favor. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to break it to three main parts. The first one, I'm going to tell you how technology and where is the technology right now. 2, I'm going to give you my story on how I use technology. 3, I'm going to give you a secret of mine. So I've spent years and years, to be specific, I've spent almost a decade now just learning about the latest of technologies. And I've spent more than a decade, just learning how to film videos and how to create content. This might sound crazy for a lot of people, but this is the actual fact. This is who I am. But this will not serve you a lot as the segment that I'm going to speak about, which is technology and AI right now. Technology has gotten so powerful to the point that you can say, do whatever you want in just a press of a finger, press of a button. But how can you do that? Is it something accessible for you, but only for the elites that have millions and billions of dollars that they can do and they can devote to develop their own AIs and systems that can serve them, and they will not share it with you because it's just so valuable. It's just the same thing with Google. It had AI for years and years now, but it never published it. Right? Until OpenAI published it, then it was like, well, I have to publish it now, so they published. But if Google, saying hypothetically, published the AI first, probably we will not have the ChatGPT, the leader of this industry, but we will have Google. Okay, that sounds good as an introduction, but what is the meat? If you go right now to ChatGPT and you ask him this prompt, tell me something about myself that I probably wouldn't know as a result of all the prompts that I put in. He will tell you something that is so accurate that you probably don't know about yourself. It's this accuracy level that we're talking about how AI has gotten to. People are using AI to make billions and billions of dollars just behind our back. We don't even have a clear idea about it. But we have two choices right now. We are in the verge of changing. We are literally at the limit of a downfall or an upward spiral. So what do I mean by this is that we are at the verge of a major change in the world, just like the major change when computers have just gotten invented. It's the same thing happening again and again and again. Probably if you've gotten into computer science in the late 1980s, you probably are now a billionaire. And the same thing goes if we're talking about phone industries. Just a couple decades ago, you'll become a billionaire now just by default, because you were the leader, you were the first in that industry. So that is the same what is happening to here. I don't want to also give the example of Bitcoin. If we all invested in Bitcoin when it just was $10, we are all going to be billionaires by now. That sounds all awesome, but in paper. So I want to give you what you can do practical today to not miss the bull run or not miss the downfall that everybody will go down to. Because look, the changes happen slow and happen fast. It happens slow to the people that have no idea about it, and happen fast for the people that have every idea about it. You want to be in the second part. I want to be in the second part all the time, forever, as long as I'm breathing. But here's how we can actually do this. I think The number one thing is you have to be up to date with the latest of technology. I don't care how you do it. Read books, learn, get a mentor, have a mastermind alliance, get friends. I don't know. You have to get wrecked. You have to do whatever you have to do in order for you to get this information. Because if you have the access to the latest of AIs and how you can access them, how you can use them, you will be by default in the first of the wave, right? You don't want to be at the back because people in the back will not get anything. You want to be at the first of the wave so you can accumulate everything you want, at least the most that you can accumulate. The most that is possible for your circumstances. So I'm going to give you another practical solution for this, which is basically you have to use AI to use AI. You have to look for AI that will help you use AI. It's literally out there. You just need to look for it. So I know that this is the thing that I'm speaking about. Everyone will hate me, but not just the general public. The general public will love me for saying this, but the people that will hate me are the billionaires and millionaires that are making millions and millions of dollars just using AI. Because this is an open door that will close very, very soon. And look, if you think that this is an opportunity that will last for 5-10 years, you're absolutely and completely correct. You're absolutely wrong. It's wrong. AI will not last for 10 years. The door is getting closer and closer and closer and closer. It's getting tighter. Not everyone can enter at some point. You will need to have capital. You will need to have connections. You will need to have some sort of leverage to enter. But now you don't have to. You can just access whatever AI you want because it's in the verge of the foundation. People are founding AI. They need the data. They need people to use it for them to actually get to the point that they want to get. So, to conclude this segment, I'm going to tell you something that you probably don't know, and probably the rest of humanity don't know. AI, till now, nobody has a clue how he thinks. I'm going to explain to you. So, in order for you to make an AI, there's three-part process. There's three parts from making an AI for you to get the answer from ChatGPT. The first one is the data that you have to put in. As an example, you can make an AI and just give him a book as data, and whatever you will ask him, he will just tell you from this data. And we've already seen Google have just done that and uploaded it to the public, so you can do something. You can do something like that. You use your own data and you ask ChatGPT for it. That's one. The second part is how ChatGPT collect those data and give it to you in the third part. The third part is you getting those answers. So you give ChatGPT, you tell him, what's the one secret about Tesla that I have no idea that it actually exists, but it wasn't when Tesla was founded, it just got added in the last year. He will tell you something from the data he has. So the thing that nobody has an idea about is what happens in the center. How AI uses, it's the brain of the AI is in the center. Nobody has any clue about what's happening in there. The programmers that uses and develop AI are whether here or here. Whether given the data, which is most of them are, or figuring out how AI can sort of give you the right answers. What happens in here, nobody has a clue. And that's why you see all of these debates on Twitter, all of these debates about how AI might be evil, but it has 90% chance that it will be good. The thing why there is these theories is because what happens in the middle, we have no clue about what happens there. So the big corporations and big organizations and companies that are actively looking for a solution to make AI safe are literally just trying to understand what's happening in the middle by inputting an idea. So as an example, they try to put an idea in the brain, let's say about watermelon. So everything you will ask AI, even if it has no idea about watermelon, it will include watermelon. It will always make it related to watermelon one way or another. So as an example, you give it the question that I said earlier, but what's the new feature in Tesla that wasn't there, etc., that I probably wouldn't know. It should be like, I don't know, it has an ability to slice watermelon, if that exists. It will always make a link between what you said and the watermelon. And the watermelon is just an example. You can insert whatever you want. And this is how we want to control AI to be safe for our users in the future. Great. So now you understand how we are in the verge of changing. We are in a changing ground. We're not in a steady ground. The ground underneath us is literally moving. So we have to move with it. Okay? Good. And we also know how AI actually works. Now I'm going to give you a story of mine on how I use technology to my favor. So about 3 years ago, after 5 years of me actively uploading on YouTube, I got about 1,700 subscribers. This might be very impressive, but that's what I could. That's the actual fact. So I did that, but I wanted really much to grow on YouTube because that's what I wanted. That was my dream since I was very, very young. Essentially, since I discovered what is YouTube. So what I did was go and collect the data about everything and anything about the technology and how YouTube actually makes videos go viral. And the way that I did it, I studied YouTube, I studied the algorithms, I studied every content creator that I think he knows the secrets, what he says, what he do, and most importantly, how he makes his videos, and most importantly, all of the stages that he went through in order for him to grow his channel from the beginning to the end. Awesome. So you might ask me, did that work? Good. Before I'm going to ask you or respond to that, I want you to understand that took me a lot of time. It took me 1 year of passively learning. So I was producing content, but it was devoting a lot of my time just learning that, and at the same time practicing what I did learn. In that period, I didn't get any results because I was learning and doing the same thing. That's good. Second thing is that I learned a lot because everything that I learned, I remembered because I did it in real life. So I remember, I can never forget that. That's two. Number three, I took 4 months break. I had an exam. I was preparing for the exam. I was not uploading. I was not doing a lot of stuff. And in my free time, when I was not preparing for the exam, I was learning YouTube all in, building my brand, building my strategy, everything. Great. So for the next 6 months alone, I made the biggest hit in my career in terms of social media, at least from the perspective of changing. So it went from 149 subscribers to about 50,000 subscribers just by those 6 months. In those 6 months, I got about 130,000 subscribers on TikTok, about 10,000 or 14,000 on Instagram. It was insane because for me, I never experienced that. The only way that it was actually accessible because I had the access to the technology and the latest of information about technology that is out there. So we was using this technology, putting it in my video, using every drop of it, and that's how I got there. And by the way, I only uploaded 8 videos on YouTube, and although I uploaded just 8 videos, I did got all of those results. Now this might sound awesome and you will say, well, that's a good idea, how I learned from it. It's a story to comprehend how using the latest of technology is very crucial and important for you. I know that if your father or your mother or your parents or your grandparents got into at the beginning of making the newest technologies that we do use right now, you probably are a billionaire family. Right? You have old money. You don't have it, so you have to create it to your children. How you do that? Be in the first of the wave. Don't wait until the wave is too big and everybody has got in, and you will just get the crappy stuff. You know, when people eat a lot of food and they're hungry, they just leave the crappy stuff that is inedible. That's what you will get if you don't get in now. Awesome. That's good. But I'm going to add another thing, which is the secret of mine. So as you know, I'm the founder of YT brand. It's an entire brand that I started building since I was 9 years old. I started building my brand since I was 9 years old, right? Although it had different stages, and now it had 3 different branches, right? One of them is YT Galaxy. If you're asking for the logo, this is the logo. It's simple. It's WIT. It's YT. Okay, good. What do I want to give you from this is YT is the literal representation of what I told you in this video. YT is a brand that reflects the latest of technologies. It really does, right? Because I told you the story about earlier when I got in on YouTube. That was YT brand, the first impression to the world. That was the time when it was publicly spoken that, well, there is this brand called YT. That's one. Number two, I built this brand in a way where I give it my blood, my heart, my intentions, and my soul. I put it all in one place, and I use everyone around me to help me build this brand. So if there is a literal baby, I don't think that baby is enough of a comparison. It's more than a baby to me, right? It's my past, my present, my future. But it's not only for me, because I know the essence that I built my brand on is with association of other people. And it's not only other people in this case, especially for this context that I gave you, but also AI have to be included in my brand. So the reason why I tell you all of this is not only to inform you about my brand or just to tell you as an information. No. I want you to do everything that I told you in this video, because if you don't, you probably are going to regret it, and probably everyone will hate you for it, and probably your children will also hate you because you didn't do what you were supposed to do, and it was so easy that if someone like me is telling you to do that, right? I want you to remember this brand because it will always be here for you, right? It will always be here for you. Just remember that. This brand is for the people, from the people, right? It's built on loyalty. It's built on striving for the future, using the latest of technologies, giving the customers, the clients, anyone what he actually deserves, and focusing on that. It's built on innovating, changing, and growth mindset. It's something that not everyone has, but you have to have it in order for you to do what I'm doing right now. I know for a lot of you will say, well, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have subscriptions of AI, I don't have all of the types of excuses, and guess what? That's what our grandparents said. That's what they did. Our parents, that's what they literally what they said. The generations before us, that's what literally they said. That's what they said. They always made excuses. But who actually got the benefit from it? Like, sure, you can win. You can say that I have the worst circumstances in the world. Great, you have them. You won. Guess what? You're losing. Anyway, that's what it is. Winning that price of having the worst circumstances in the world will literally make you lose rather than make you up, rather than make you grow, rather than make you the one in creating the world that you want. So, just to make this very clear, at the beginning of this I said, I want you to be able to change the world around you with something that might sound as fancy, okay? Look, there's two types of people, the reasonable and unreasonable. The reasonable is who adapts to the world. The unreasonable, who makes the world adapts to him. Who's the stupid? You might say the second one. No. They're the one that makes the difference in the world. You know when Steve Jobs has said that the only people that change the world are the people that are crazy enough to believe they can. Believe they can is not only say it, is not only think about it, is live it, breathe it. Your heart will beat with it. With every beat you hear that. It's the same thought that it consumes you and you consume it. Your unconscious mind is unconsciously literally drowning in the sea of that psychology and ideology that you want to have and possess in this life. And look, I know that although you've watched this video, a very large percentage very large, I know this video will get millions and millions of views, very large percentage will probably not do anything about it. Guess who will lose? Guess who will lose? Them. Don't be one of them. Be one of us and join YT. We have always place for you.